Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up.
What you got to say? Hey, when we're Hollywood swinging, hey, Hollywood, yeah, Hollywood swinger, yeah. All right, hey loves. My name is Wyann, also known as Y, and this is one of the latest episodes we've ever taped of Raise It Up, Y, the podcast. We are coming at you, well, on YouTube and all of your places you can find podcasts like Apple Podcast and Stitcher and another place that's big, but I don't like shouting them out. All of those places, you'll be able to find us on the last Thursday of June 2021 in an episode we are calling And All the Queen's Men. I'm a poet, so expect double entendres today, all right? Expect me to speak in code, but with a lot of love in my heart. And yeah, I just need everybody to know that we have been ready to tape for at least several hours. And because I wanted to shout out MXL Mics, we love you guys over there at MXL. Shouts out to my uncle Benjamin Wright, composer and arranger for boom, 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 boom. Everything from Off the Wall all the way up to Boogie Wonderland. Looking in mirror, took me by surprise. Ooh, I can't help but see you running often through my mind. So yeah, damn, I feel like that. I feel like listening to music. I feel like doing a lot of things, but we're going to finish this podcast because we started it 17 hours ago. So it's not 17 hours. This is hyperbole at its finest, guys. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is one where we are going to continue our discovery of self-worth. And I was having a conversation not long ago where I told a group of people, I love helping young men, especially Black men, especially men who listen to rap music in America and are Black men. And mind you, my entire thesis was on hip hop and Black adolescent identity formation. So when I'm telling you all this, I'm just giving you guys the breadth of what I studied. So when I'm saying Black American rap listener male, these are all my independent variables that I had to make sure I put in my research in order not to make my thesis too convoluted with way too much information, including way too many types of variables. So one of my favorite things to do is help introduce people to their worth. I enjoy doing that, especially with young men, because it's not a concept that they are readily introduced to. I believe, in my experience, that a lot of guys are taught to value almost everything else in the world and themselves. I was going to say last, but I know some grown men who can go to their graves never knowing who they are. Or if they know who they are, may not love who they are And if they love and can say they love who they are, I don't believe they could tell you what that value holds of the person that they've discovered or that they know or that they love. So self-worth is a concept that we continue to discover throughout our life's journey. It doesn't stop because you have a degree. It doesn't stop because you earned $1 million. It doesn't stop because you have a yacht. None of the outward physical things that we acquire in this life make us know our worth. It's one of the reasons why all 2021 we've been discussing it from my fall that happened in March. And guys, next time you see me, I will have my crown, aka my new tooth. Yes. For people who aren't on YouTube, that means nothing to you because you don't know that I have a crooked smile. Shouts out to J. Cole. But the smile that I've known for a lot of years was altered by an event where I had a misstep. That's episode, I can't remember what number, but it's definitely March's episode. What is this? June? June is 32. May is 31. April is 30. 29. So episode 29, you can hear all about that journey. Shit. I never knew how much physical appearance and looks played into what I thought about myself on the inside. You see what I'm saying? And that's just me as a woman with a degree, as a woman who loves herself and helps other people learn how to love themselves, and I have more contact with the idea of self-awareness than the average person. So goodness, there's something like it. I mean, not like if it could happen to me, it could happen to anybody. But what I mean is, if an educated, self-aware, trained therapist can be still discovering her worth, damn near touching 40, I can't imagine what a young man who becomes a millionaire at 28 because he hit a lick in the music industry, I can't imagine what he thinks his worth looks like versus what it actually is, right? Everything that we see isn't always what it is. But let me go back to the title of this episode. All the Queen's Men. I am the queen today. And I was in all the time it took to get this audio right. We're doing a new tactic for audio, but sometimes if you measure 10 times, you only have to cut once. And that's not sometimes, that's all the time. So today we did the measuring of 10 times. I just wish I would have known to do this a different day. Not while we're ready to record and do all of our stuff, right? So shouts out to MXL Mics yet again, because I wanted to make sure that this beautiful baby that you all have endorsed us with got seen today. Outside of that, though, I want to say that I want to thank I am Dave 4, DAV as in Victor, FORE, F as in Frank, ORE. I am Dave 4 on Instagram. He is our secret weapon on this podcast. He makes sure that the audio sounds as amazing as it does. He is who you need to talk to for all of your mixing and mastering needs. Mastering more than mixing, but he surely helped mix my album. So you understand, that man is amazing and outstanding. Also, I gotta shout out Cat Lewis. Cat, what's your last name? What? Does he have IG? No. Okay, right. Who am I talking about? We love you, Kat. Thank you so much for helping us troubleshoot our stuff as well. Thank you to a gentleman who you guys will see and talk to in a second. Much like last episode, I believed in the feeling, and so I'm pulling people up just because they in my presence. Quavo, who was here earlier, he helped us put this set together and everything. We thank you too. And the only non-man who helped this whole day is one of my beautiful angels. You guys know I have two. One is named at Cup of Sue on Instagram. The other is Easy Missil, EZMISIL. This is I was going to call him my personal photographer, and that would be playing the shit out of her. She's basically just everything. I don't have to think when she exists because she allows me to be completely in my right brain. So she's my left brain. That's what she is. Left for logic. So I've been holding my book this whole time as if I'm going to do something right now. Why am I doing that? This caught this? What a silly woman. Thank you, Wyann. But since we right here, hold up. My book 13 turns 13 on June 13th, 2021. So you will be hearing a poem out of here and at the end of this episode. We have a couple segments for you. A do-I-diddy / get raised with a special guest that didn't know he was going to be on this podcast today. We're going to have a raise 'em up where we talk about that third love language. Okay, third love language. The first one was words of service. The second one was quality time. This right here is receiving gifts. So it is the third. Okay, the third episode. No, the third. It is 100 a.m. So, okay. And that's the raise 'em up. And then we're going to do a do-I-diddy because we're going to get you all familiar with this little book right here. For those of you on YouTube, you see this is my first book from 2008 that I wrote called 13. It's available on my website, wyannvon.com. All of that ends up coming up again at the end of the episode. Just in case some of you tune in right now and don't get to the rest of the episode right now, I just wanted to give you all that information. Y'all know we don't do this until we've grounded ourselves, ladies and gents. So, I need this grounding right now. It has been a long night, but guess what? What I love about me and my team is that we don't make excuses and we don't give explanation. We just get results. We just make shit happen. And I appreciate everybody I work with, everybody that works with me. And I'm just so appreciative, period. So grounding is the practice of becoming present, putting yourself exactly in the room, not just your thoughts, not just your body, all of it, emotions, mental, physical, your physical, and everything about you gets in the room with you. That's grounding. And we start each podcast this way. So if this is your first time joining us, hey, thank you for listening and all that good stuff. Let me invite you to close your eyes. If you're driving, do not let me seduce you into an accident. Keep your eyes open, please. Be responsible. But everybody else, if you would like, go ahead and while your eyes are closed, I want you to take a moment to be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel your feet. Wiggle your toes. Touch your nose. And I want you to do all that just to recognize that you are physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually here. Breathe a breath in. Blow that breath out. Try that again. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. And just take a moment to own this. This is a miracle we call life. That you are breathing and winning just by living this life. By spending this time with my voice right now. You, my love, are investing into your betterment. So please sit with that and feel proud. And welcome. Let's go TF up, all right? June is a multifaceted month. I have learned, all of you in my DMs have, are you going to talk about? And I'm like, I hadn't planned on it, but I won't not do it. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to get into what this month represents, which is men's health, I've learned. It's also Pride Month. And for some of you who don't know, I am a heterosexual black big booty chick from LA who loves hip hop, sings R&B, and does poetry. As much as I am those things, I appreciate the beauty in every human walking this earth, especially the ones that subscribe to peace, love, joy, enlightenment, and the highest vibrating emotions that they can find. And those people don't have to look like me, don't have to listen to the same music as me. They don't have to have a big butt like me. They don't have to come from the west side like me. They don't have to be black. And they don't have to be heterosexual. I find beauty in a lot of people. And members of the LGBTQ plus also fall in there. I also know over 60% of my listeners are men. So, gentlemen, I would encourage you to remain engaged for the rest of this episode. One, because we're going to be talking about your health as this month indicates, but also because I believe that when you find dopeness everywhere you look, AKA in any face that you might find, it's evidence of your ability to tap into the multifaceted dopeness that exists in you. I also believe that every time you can shut yourself off from any type of individual that you don't know in the depths of you, I feel like that's an indicator of the way you treat yourself. Has way less to do with whoever you're looking at, much more to do with you. Okay? So, the third thing that this month is, in this multifaceted month, is Black Music Month. All right? That means hip hop. That means my shirt. And I wore the bra you guys like. Now everyone goes to YouTube. Click here. I have a shirt that represents my brothers in hip hop and music in general, really genreless. Any dope musician is probably just considered genreless because we just create to create. It don't really make a difference to us if you call it jazz, if you call it hip hop, or if you call it soul, R&B, or pop. I don't really care what you call it. Dwele has a line that says, "Is this a rap song or is it vocals? Am I hip hop or neo soul? Baby, it don't matter just as long as you loving it. It's gonna be the same thing that it was when you discovered it." Hello, yellow, whatever you call it. To quote M, I am whatever you say I am. You think it's pop, it's pop. You think it's hip hop, it's hip hop. Enjoy it, bro. Just enjoy it. But the Black Music Month, we're going to kick off with the gentleman who didn't know he was going to be on my show tonight. He came over to help me with a big ass suitcase, seeing that tomorrow I leave to go visit Ninth Wonder and the Jam Law squad. Shouts out to Jam Law. Jam Law is the squad. Cash, E. Jones, Crisis, Rhapsody, GQ, all my homies. Andre Megoat, The Graduate. Hello. All of y'all over there. I fuck with all of you guys. Smitty, I love you. I love everybody over there. CC, love all y'all. And I will be out there for a couple days, aka weeks. However, I would like to invite to sit next to me on this little breakfast nook that I have here in my house a tall man named TJ Wilkins, who is a new artist, but not very new to you guys. As a solo act, yeah, he's putting out music for the first time. That's all very exciting. And I was going to play one of his songs as a do-I-diddy, but I don't know that it will flag my episode and take my entire episode down. So I don't think we'll be able to do that. But what I can have him do is perform something for y'all right the fuck now. How about that? All right? All you 40% of chicks that listen to this podcast, hold on to your veg because it's about to happen for you. It's my show. I can say veg if I want to. Ladies, rub your titties if you love. Okay, come on. Come on, Big Papa. Y'all welcome him. Hola.
Right here. Is this good?
Nah, you gotta be right here.
Oh. Okay.
So like it's gonna tell us when you're right.
Okay. Keep going.
Keep going. It's good, no?
Like this?
How am I? This one. Let me see. Am I good? No? Okay. Now, day 4, I am sorry. This was not in the plan. But my other guests have gone to sleep because of how long we took to get everything together. So, look, this is showbiz and the show must go on. So we use what we got to get what we want. Shouts out to Ronnie on the Players Club. No, I'm messing with you. Why don't you give us some of your another one of your singles that's already out. So it's not like we're doing any spoiler alerts. Okay. You and D Mills.
Okay.
Good to you.
All right. I believe in the feeling. It's like something I can't explain, 'cause it's just different. I'll be damned if I can't see what your loving does for me. And it seems that I can't find the words to say. No, it ain't no sin. So won't you come in and we can begin to get to know each other. We don't have to rush, we can take it slow. Through your eyes I see your soul. Baby, let me take you to a higher place. Ooh, baby, let's get closer.
Won't you come here, darling?
You don't have to worry,
'Cause I got you, yeah.
take off all your cool.
Take off all your cool, yeah.
I'll be good to you.
I should have done those first.
Yeah, you did. Oh, man.
TJ Wilkins has been singing all day.
All day.
Had rehearsals, and then had to go to the studio, and just got off and came over here to help me with one thing and one thing only. And then I said, hey, stick around.
I'm here for you.
Yes. So what I call TJ is the same thing I call my mom, a flat-foot singer. And it means irregardlessly, you like my master's degree at work?
I love it.
Okay. Irregardlessly, not even, regardless of the circumstance, you say, hey, you should start singing right now. And then they just start singing right now. You know what I'm saying? If you guys seen episode 18, which is called Best of My Love, I'd be like, Mom, what's your favorite? I was asking her questions, expecting her to answer me. Mm-hmm. And she just started singing all her answers. I was like,
oh, geez.
Like, what's your favorite song that you wrote? Instead of just saying, oh, it's a song called You Got the Right to Know. She said, wow, you got the right. I'm like, well, that's okay. I didn't know the song, truthfully. I didn't. So I was like, well, there it is. All right. Question for the end of this do-I-ditty.
Okay.
What does it feel like getting ready to put out your first project, your debut project? How does that feel?
It feels exciting.
Mm-hmm. Dave is gonna get you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. It feels exciting. I'm nervous.
Oh,
yeah, man. But no, it feels exciting. It feels like, what's the word I'm looking for? Satisfying.
Really?
Yeah. A little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the unknown, but all in all, and relief. Like, I feel relieved, truthfully. Like,
nice.
relieving, yeah. So all of those things, it's all good.
So would you like to tell the listeners about the song I can't play and let them know why I can't play it.
Oh, well, the song can't be played right now. One, because it's exclusively released on SoundCloud.
Yes.
And it contains a bit of music that the song was inspired by,
Right.
and we're awaiting permission. So we want to do
Yes.
things right. So that's
Yes.
why I can't sing it right now, but we will. We will eventually.
So if people wanted to go onto SoundCloud, would they just search T.J. Wilkins, All I Ever Wanted?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Or
Yes.
or you could go to at I am TJ Wilkins altogether, TJWILKINS, and he has the link directly in his bio.
Yes, ma'am.
And that just makes it easier because I'm an Instagram chick, quite apparently. Apparently some people are good. Very nice. Some people are just better at certain social medias. That was something I learned in one of the marketing classes that I went to. They were like, if you already learned or mastered or have a mastery in one of those areas and you're a rock star on that app, pimp the fucking situation. Like be that. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to forego being a master of one to be jack of all trades. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make sure that you do that. And like I said, on Instagram. So now that you gave us a do-I-diddy, I want to parlay ourselves into a get raised. You are going to help raise my listenership.
Okay.
All right. And really, a get raised is not just raising of my listenership. It's really me. I talk a lot of shit on this podcast. Good shit, though. Positive shit. I'm always elevating people and looking to elevate myself. So when I have a get raised section, it's because I have another person on who gives a perspective and shares an expertise that raises me as well.
Oh, wow.
So when I say get raised, I'm really talking about me getting raised. But everyone with ears is going to get raised as well. So that's all of our listeners, right? So this get raised is going to be a couple questions, just like two. The second one is a long one, though.
Okay.
Pause. No, I'm messing with you. No. I don't have to say that. In Men's Health Month, what steps do you take that you can share with, like I say, I have 60% men listening. What steps do you take to ensure your mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional health? Whichever of those feels the easiest to answer, go ahead and take a stab at it.
Those kind of all are one and the same for
Okay.
me. Like they're all tied together. So my physical, my emotional, spiritual, mental, etc. They all are one and the same. So generally, I just kind of start the day with a prayer and meditation, and that gets my mind and spirit ready for the day, right? And then do something active, try to eat good, eat right, but I think that the mental and emotional health affect the physical.
Yeah.
So getting those things right first allows me to then step into getting all the physical stuff together, and just kind of having it all commingle.
I want to bring up one of the Dave. I'm so sorry if this is like all while I'm moving this damn mic. I want to bring up a recent post I saw on your page.
Okay.
And it's a juxtaposition of you in 2016 and you in 2021. Okay. Now, what we should also inform our listeners of is that you were on a show called The Voice.
Yes.
But that was like 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I told someone that you were on that show, so they punched in your name and they looked you up on YouTube and they says, I see a TJ Wilkins, but I don't see your TJ Wilkins. I says, really? They sent me the link And lo and behold, there you were.
Oh, really?
But they didn't recognize you.
Wow.
So you've had a bit of a weight loss journey.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see when you looked at that picture of you in 2016 and put it next to the picture of you in 2021? Rather, not just what did you see, I want to know, because I think, well, let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you love both of those pictures? Do you love the man that's in both of those pictures? Did you love the 2016 you and the 2021 you?
To answer the first part,
Okay.
I love both of them now. Back then, and I love the 2021 version for sure.
Because he's you.
Yeah, he's me. But the 2016 version, that was a little bit more difficult to say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So there were times when I loved the 2016 version when I was in 2016. And
Sure.
there were many times that I didn't, and could not admit that I didn't. But
I like that. You said I could not even admit that I didn't love that guy.
Yeah.
Because you knew that when someone asks you, do you love yourself? The surface general right answer is, yeah, I love myself.
Of course.
But to just say the right answer because you know what the right answer is, even though you don't feel that way, it's performative, right?
Yeah, very much so.
It's very interesting. So it's interesting to hear you say, I would say it now. And you can say it now with confidence.
Absolutely.
What got you to that space?
Well, truthfully,
Yeah.
Couple of things, but probably the biggest thing or the biggest person was someone who came into my life. It was very special to me. Who, wow, that year, and saw me, and not just not the me that I showed everybody, but the me that I was running from, and
Like in a deep way, though.
Yeah.
Like in a good way.
In a good way. And, this person never judged me.
Right.
Always tried to understand me and kind of show like the mirror and say, hey, like, will psychoanalyze me sometimes. But
I love it.
But planted the seed of like self-love, and so that, along with just life experiences and life learning, like
Right.
lessons,
Right.
Falling down, bumping my head, being hard-headed, how those things go. That kind of started the journey.
I love it.
Having someone, that doesn't have a motive, like a lot of times, like we'll, like as men, we'll kind of base our value off of like how much money we got, the type of job we got, the kind of car we drive, et cetera, right? How we look physically.
Yeah.
And, we think like, oh, like, yeah, she gonna love me, or he's gonna love me, whoever, is gonna love me because I got this.
Right.
And some people do. Like,
Right.
some people do love you for those things, but then you come across certain people that don't give a damn about that. And it's just like they see you and they love you, and, will hold up the mirror to you and say, do you see what I see?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it took you a minute.
Oh, yeah. It took a
It
long time,
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of just stuff that, like, internally that I had to like discover, so.
Right. It was stuff that couldn't nobody have told you about you.
Nah.
you wouldn't have heard it. I don't believe.
No, I wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah.
I would have denied it. It would have been denial.
But that's a part of another two things that gentlemen tend to hold on to in order to secure their psyche. It's like a survival kit for them. Pride and ego.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna talk more about pride later, you know what I'm saying, in a couple different ways. But wrestling down that ego to allow yourself to become the full version of yourself. Would you say that's, from your experience, you in this music industry, you know a lot of people, you work out with a lot of gentlemen, you work with, I mean, like, you just have so many dudes around you that I know, from grown OGs in this game all the way to where you are now. Do you notice that that's a trend seemingly in a lot of men, where to become a fuller version of themselves, they have to learn where they want to place their ego?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a part of the learning. I would call it a learning curve.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get taught that. Like, a lot of times, like the shit that we learn comes by just like making mistakes, you know? And so all of us, you know, myself included, you know, have had to kind of learn like where to place our egos.
Yeah.
Some of us have yet to really grasp that. And it's, you know, and there's no judgment. It's just like where everybody's at.
Right.
But you know, for folks like myself, you really start to learn like what's important.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of times like the ego will kind of drive you to, you know, to do things that, you know, normally like you wouldn't think to do, or, you know, or to say even. But yeah, we learn. We learn. That's all I can say.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
To learn, you have to have the will, right?
Yeah.
If you're not willing to learn, if you don't have ears to hear,
right?
Somebody, a trained therapist, a practicing therapist, a PhD holder, anybody can attempt to guide you to that water. It will always be on you to drink.
Absolutely.
Always, right?
Absolutely.
So, I love that. I love that. And I wanted my male and my lady, as well as however anyone might identify, I wanted all my listeners to be able to hear that from a man's voice.
Yeah.
You know, one, they hear me talk all the damn time. Love Tuesdays, this motherfucking podcast. Y'all always y'all always hear me talk. So, and I talk a lot of male and man development. Many of my mentors, look behind you. That's one of my mentors right there, and one of the reasons people know me in this game right there. You know what I'm saying? Terrace, Ninth Wonder, Kamasi, and Robert Glasper on my shirt. The Dinner Party, you know, albums. That's a whole nother sect of people that mentor me, fuck with me in this game heavy. And for the ladies, fuck with me and not on me.
Say that again. Fuck
with me and not on me in this game, all right? I could point to any of these dudes and that'd be the case. So you just learn differently in this game, especially as a woman. You learn differently how to navigate this system when you're really just there for the gig and for the learning experience. Again, going back to that will. If there is a will to win, you will.
Yeah.
Period. And I think that's really important for men. You know, I love all my loves. I love all you gentlemen. Y'all the reasons I start to put up full body pics now. Yeah. Go look at on @Wyann, WYANNA. The last comment I saw when I was getting ready to come over here, I showed you. It was someone that liked it, and then just the next comment 59 seconds ago when I looked at it, it said, "Marry me." It was easy. Like, it was to the point. Like, it wasn't a question. It was just straight up like, "Hey, Fuck it, you doing with your life? Marry me. Easy. Marry me, period. The fuck? And I respect it. I respect it. You see what you want? Someone else DM'd me something and said, hey, go ahead and give me your number. Respectfully.
Wow.
I got a cramp. But I'm like, I appreciate you, loves. I appreciate you. I thank you for rocking with a chick. You dig that? However, my sister Wendy Vaughn, shouts out to Wendy, I am Wendy with an I, talks about knowing the politics of your body. She's a marketing major. She knows how to make sure the messages get out to a bunch of people. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, you look at it how you want. Let me say it differently. Okay. There have been social psychology studies. I don't know if you ever looked at this in your studies at the college, where they looked at the attractiveness of a person. Okay, so I'm not wrong. My assistant, one of my angels, has a psychology degree. So I brought up the experiment and she already knew what I was talking about. The results of the experiment, so I'm not going to take all your time. Pretty people get help faster. Pretty people, they call it pretty privilege. Mm-hmm. You will get called on first. You will get, even if you haven't had, the opportunity, the job interview. Why do you think you have to look a certain way when you go on your job interview? It's the aesthetics, right? Mm-hmm. Nefertiti, the like African mythology or goddess or queen, something like that. The root word nefer is the Egyptian word for beauty, but what the word nefer actually translates to in English is proportion. It goes off of the symmetry of your face and how symmetric you are. Proportionate and balanced things are things that we find attractive in general. So you hear about Nefertiti, the idea of Nefer is that there's this proportionate beauty. One eye ain't bigger than the other eye. Go look this up. Actors and actresses with a symmetry test, I forgot the symmetry test's name, get more work. Gwyneth Paltrow, tested as a 10. And mind you, this was done when she was on top. Right. Brad Pitt tested as a 10. Heidi Klum as a model tested as a 10. That was the highest that you could get. But these are also some of the highest paid actors of their day, highest paid actresses and highest paid models of their day. So you guys go look this up. I don't know, that's not my field of study, but I definitely ran across it. And I'm just sharing it with you. The idea of that balance and keeping yourself looking good, smelling good. I don't care where you come from or how you live. Somebody with a dope personality that looks good and smells good with no ulterior motive, just coming to you just to be in your space, you're probably going to invite that person back around for the rest of your days. Just a good person, just a good energy, a good message for no good reason, right? So I'm kicking you off my stage now. Thank you. I appreciate you. You did a great job. I should ask you one more thing. Okay. Leaving this get raised. The idea of June being a few things. You helped us celebrate Black music. You also helped us celebrate men's health. The only thing I didn't get you to touch on was the pride concept. And not pride, I say concept because I'm double on, again, I am a poet, guys, so let me use my words. We talked about men having pride and ego as armor, So when I had you touch on that, and I said we're going to get to that in a second, I don't want to use it in that connotation, in that context. But June is Pride Month for the LGBTQ plus community. I think in my research, my very crude, short, just one Google search click research, so it's not deep right now. It said that in 96, Bill Clinton may have been the first president to call June Pride Month or something like that, even though other things said that LGBT month was February or something like that. And I was like, The blacks aren't letting you have that one, guys. My bad. We can share Black Music Month. I'm fine with that. But no, we're not. No. Let's keep it a bean. And then I saw another thing that said that the LGBT. This is what they said, not Q plus. They just said LGBT month was October. So that's why I'm just saying, in the little crude research that I've done, I'm just, whatever I look up is what I report. I'm not trying to make this a big or a bad thing. But we like this show called Pose, right?
Yeah.
You are an actor and a singer. Yeah. You are an entertainer all around. If you've ever went to the Jacksons concert and said, hey, that looks like that guy that was on Wise Podcast. It is the guy that was on Wise Podcast. TJ tours, he with a legacy act just like I do. The Jacksons, as well as I'm with, the Emotions. As one of the descendants. He is not a descendant. There is a TJ in their family, and it's not he. Yeah. That's one of Tito's sons, right?
Yeah, one of Tito's sons.
Yeah. I think you called one of them one time, and they was like, TJ, yeah. And they started saying family shit. And it's like, no, the singer. The singer with y'all. Yeah. Oh, what do they call you, Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hercules. Oh, my bad. But that was on speaker. That was, I think, when around the time that something happened in their lives, that was in the news. So I'll just say that. But we've watched the show Pose. You and I have had the pleasure of being around one of my very good friends named MJ Rodriguez, who on the show Pose plays the character Blanca. Shouts out to my baby girl. I love you, MJ. Y'all got the chance to, MJ helped me surprise you for one of your birthdays. So back in 2018, 19, 18.
No, 19.
19. There you go. Yeah. Back in 2019. And I know you have you went to like an artsy high school and stuff like that. So by default, you've just been around more members of the LGBTQ plus community in how you've grown up. You've also grown up in church, have a legacy family in the church world. His dad and uncle they started the LA Mass Choir and a whole bunch of stuff. GMWBA. I don't know. Sorry, Uncle Pastor, but Jim Jones. Yeah. So what happens is this, because you've spent, whether it be your high school stuff, whether it be this music stuff, whether it be the gospel world, because that's another sojourn, another place of sojourn for a lot of LGBTQ plus members. I want you to share what that experience has been like carrying on as a heterosexual Black man who's come up in church. So, the church has been a little less than favorable towards this population. How have you been able to secure such dope friendships with some of, your boys who I know now, and I would like to call them my boys, but I don't know, you know what I'm saying? They're great, great people. I just love good people. How have you been able to foster and keep these relationships without what a lot of homophobic types of comments? And sometimes I don't even think that heterosexual men realize that they're doing this. Where they're like, I can't have no gay homeboys. I don't want nobody to start hitting on me. I don't want nobody to start da-da-da-da-da. And I'm in my head like, most of my gay homeboys would not even think you are fucking cute. They wouldn't even look. Nigga, I don't think you're cute. What the fuck? Like, you worried about my homeboy? No. But I wanted you to talk about that experience having members of the LGBTQ community as very close friends of yours and it not encroaching upon your heterosexuality. How does that work?
Well, it just works by being secure. Like, I mean, I love women. I love women.
You should.
You know what I'm saying? You in particular. But that's a different story. But no, and so I had to learn, like, cause I, growing up around like manly men.
Yeah.
It was like, a real man, men don't do this. Like,
right.
That's sissies do that.
Right.
That would be a thing. And, it was just a, a old school like way of thinking.
Right.
So going, having go to art school and stuff like that,
Right.
you learn very quickly, hey, all right. And so, truthfully, it was just having an ear of understanding.
Right.
I had some very close friends who, when I was in high school, came out
Right.
of the closet and was like, I'm gay and this, that, and the other. And it didn't, I never looked at them and was like, oh, you gay? Oh, nah. It was
Right,
just
right,
like, you're
right.
still the same person, like,
Right.
that I know. So it would be crazy to, ostracize you or to say I can't be your friend no more because you've accepted who you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's crazy,
Right.
And so and then like again like looking at them like and family members even like looking
Yeah.
at them, through a lens of again compassion and understanding to say, okay, I don't understand,
Right.
the attraction to men or the attraction, I do understand the attraction to women, but no, but
This nigga,
you know what I'm saying. But like, help me understand,
Right.
what you know what I'm saying because, and then once they broke it down to me, it was like, oh, okay, so you're a human being. The person you love is a human being. We all have desires,
Right.
sexual desires and things of that nature, and we
Right.
love who we love. Okay, so you just happen to love a man, or you're a woman that just happens to love a woman, or
Right.
like it doesn't.
Right.
You just love people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so like that's navigating that education,
Right.
if you will, has been very beneficial because I could watch a show like Pose and learn,
Yep.
about, the transgender community in particular.
Yeah.
Like the things that they went through,
Yeah.
in history and, the things that they're fighting for. And I can be an ally, not necessarily a participant,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But I can be an ally.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and nobody's welcomed you in that way.
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm
nobody-
saying?
yeah,
like,
yeah. And
like respect. Like,
Right.
no. This is just like at the same time that we like to. In the Black community,
Yeah.
We accept the assistance of allyship from white people
Yeah.
or anybody else that's not a part of our community.
Right.
It doesn't mean that okay, when you come to the cookout, you get to say nigga.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
ain't
nah,
it, right?
nah, that
like
ain't it.
no, like
Yeah.
you. So I've always respected when anyone who looks at their involvement in any movement, any culture as an ally. I love when they're always very careful of their boundaries within that. You know what I'm saying? Just you remember there's a line in Girls Trip, where the publicist, the white girl that was a publicist to the main character, and they were going to Essence Fest, and she was like, "Just remember when you go here, this is a celebration of Black women in all of their glory. You are a guest. This is not for you to come in and hey, sister girl."
Yeah.
This is not for that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is just for you to come in and, be the best publicist to me that you can be. That's what you are when you're not at Essence Fest. So, don't dread your hair to come to Essence
Right.
Fest, nigga. Like, don't put braids in your shit, and then come to, that would be weird. So in that same way, when we as people who see other people as fucking people, whenever we can help a cause and be an ally, it's always good that we just humanize the situation, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know about you guys. There was last year in like and before, even in like 2016 and other places, there were some protests that I saw for not just George Floyd. It was even before that, because this is before this situation. I saw a bunch of white protests, because this was when more Black people were the protesters. Last year, that shit was a rainbow coalition. It was everybody out there protesting. But in this particular scene, it was Black activists that came into a room, and all the white allies came in and just stood in front of the Black people.
Wow.
They didn't start yelling and say my name, or say their names rather, and they weren't doing any of that. They were just using their privilege.
Right.
Since we see that you'll shoot them down like dogs and you tend to stop and talk to us,
Right.
let me just stand in the wake. Let me just stand in that gaping space.
Absolutely.
And stand in the gap is the word I was trying to find the whole time. But let me stand in the gap for you. Let me stand in that gap for you. And I thought that shit was like, bro, thank you. Like, that's something that we needed. And you didn't overstep your bounds at all. You know what I'm saying? You actually put yourself in harm's way, even coming out with us. But I just thought that was like really, really fly. So, and I love that you were able to give some insight into humanizing humans.
Yeah.
I
know it's such a it's crazy that we have to even think make that a concept.
Yes.
But
Yes.
We all learning.
We all learning. We are all doing our best. Has that not been my mantra since this whole quarantine and coming back from quarantine? We are doing our best. And if you are an individual who is not doing your best, you probably aren't listening to this podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast, you are probably already doing your best, and we applaud you. And I'm telling you, yes, hold up. We applaud you. That was a round of applause, by the way. Yeah, holla at your girl. But I say that because if you're able to even sit and listen to this dialogue where you may have been, it's not that you're homophobic. This is what some of the things I've heard. It's not that I'm homophobic. I was raised in the church and I was raised to love God. So in some people's eyes, by loving another human being who happens to love someone different than the way I love people, by loving them, I am disrespecting God, a presence of all love, and not tolerance, acceptance, allowance, resistance free, no fear. What is it? God has given me a spirit of...
God has not given us the spirit of fear.
God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
I know love is a vibe. The Bible like love.
We gonna roll with that.
Yeah, the Bible like love. Of all these things, hope and faith and love above all else. Now, I know that one, Corinthians, baby. 2 Corinthians, somebody. This is like 13:13. That's the only reason I remember.
All right, Reverend.
Yeah, holla. So, I don't know why I was about to start quoting Ja Rule. Holla, holla.
Oh, really?
Everybody. No. We're not going to do that today. Black Music Month. Okay. Moving on. Thank you, Trijan.
Thank you very much.
What else didn't I say about you? You, Jackson's dad, uncle started LA Mass Choir, actor, singer, project coming out very soon. Everyone make sure you follow, stay tuned at I am TJ Wilkins. There's another TJ Wilkins out there. This is the tall one. So just be looking. Just make sure you understand. You hear that all music? My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, go that way.
All right.
You know I come for everybody. Pop, pop.
You're the best.
Always. I believe in the feeling. Did all the low notes. I made you still do the high notes. I was trying to hold you down. I held you back.
Play my position.
My nigga.
I'll let you do what you do.
Hey. So, on to the next. We had a beautiful duo-ditty from the incomparable TJ Wilkins. We also got raised listening to a man talk about men's health, listening to a man talk about how he accepted his greatness, right? How he got to see his own worth, in his own way. And we also got to hear about his relationship with the Pride community during Pride Month. And I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. Raise them up. We're looking at that third love language. If you are listening to the audiobook on YouTube, start at hour 1 minute 36 and 18 seconds. This is about receiving gifts. Girls, here you come. I was on the same show, Pose. One of the characters says, I will know when I'm loved when I receive gifts. It's like, whoops, reality check being, it's a vibe when you can articulate how you know you want to be loved. Not just by receiving gifts. If I told you guys last episode, I'm a quality of time girl. I know a lot of men are words of affirmation men. They think they're physical touch, and that's like the last one. We haven't gotten to that yet. Men think that they're physical touch because they think that dicks and pussies touch. So they feel like, yay, physical touch. We're all sexual. No, actually, I know certain gentlemen that don't like to be touched. Like they're not effectual that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be hugged. They don't want to be coddled. They don't enjoy public displays of affection and holding hands. So these are individuals who physical touch might not be their big thing, just because dudes have the sex hormone pumped through their system called testosterone. And on average, social psychology states they think about sex, what is it? Every 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, on average, with the testosterone. And that's why, ladies, don't be perturbed. Do not be bothered and fret not. Because as we get growner, this is coming from a 39-year-old, our estrogen levels begin to decrease. It's how we end up getting menopause. You know what that leaves in us, ladies? Because we got it in us? That testosterone. Listen to me when I talk. They say flirty 30s, huh? They say flirty 30s. They say get me down on the flow 40s. That's not true. I just made that up. But still, you don't know. I don't know. We could ask some friends of mine or just wait till next year. I'll tell you my progress. My knees. No. But so yeah, love language 3, receiving gifts. How do we receive gifts? With love. This is my set of takeaways from this 6th chapter, but love language number 3 in this book. By Gary Chapman, by the way, a book that was written for married couples by an anthropological marriage counselor. I like saying all of those variables, one, because with my master's degree, I'm just a good researcher. That's all having a master's degree means. It means that I'm good at research, or I've had more contact with research. But because I got all A's in that master's program, bitch, I'm good. You understand? And all a bachelor's degree means is just that we have more contact with critical analysis. So I'm a well-studied, critically analyzed thinker. So when I tell you that this book was written for married couples by a dude, I was gonna say nigga, by a dude named Gary Chapman, and the fact that he comes from an anthropological background, everywhere we go, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. So somebody who has a background in anthropology, when he comes to the world of counseling, he's bringing an evolutionary perspective with him. I have a Master of Social Work degree. That means that I am a trained therapist. And as a trained therapist who knows public policy, human development, sociology, psychology, and social justice as my pillars, when I come into a counseling situation, I'm bringing all of those variables with me. So I love helping you understand who your teachers are, right? Because everybody that got a word for you ain't meant to speak a word over you. Right? So just be careful about what you let in your brain. Your brain is the first computer, and it tends to latch on to everything it's ever heard. That's why I love telling you guys positive shit like I love you, and you can't do shit about it because it's true. And we rockets up on these hoes every single day because y'all can't stop me. You know what I'm saying? I love giving you guys that reckless, non-corny positivity because it doesn't leave you. You wouldn't know how to make it go away if you wanted to. So boom. There that goes. Receiving gifts, though. Couple things. Gifts are reminders of love. They are the best investments for people who enjoy receiving gifts. And one of the greatest gifts is a gift of self. So let's go back. A reminder of love. Like I said, this gentleman is an anthropologist by design, and he's studied a lot of different cultures, Aborigine cultures, third world country cultures, cultures that don't know how to speak a lick of English and have not seen a white man. So when he's gone into these places, he has to learn to communicate and gain trust with people who look very different from him and are very different from him. And what Gary Chapman... Let me make sure. Yeah, Gary Chapman said, I was like, Gary Coleman? No, what Gary Chapman said is every culture that the author studied gives gifts as a part of its love and marriage ritual. every culture, even just to show trust amongst people that they don't necessarily know, show love amongst people that they don't necessarily know. Doing that is all done with gifts. When you get married, you exchange rings. That's a part of that gift giving feature. Guests bring you gifts, like it's a part of what these things do, cultures do when it comes to love in and of itself, as well as marriage practices. Gifts are reminders of love. Gifts are symbols of thought, visual symbols even of love. It's through the fact that someone thought of you that the person whose primary love language is gift giving, rather gift receiving gifts. It's the fact that you thought about me. It literally comes down to what you maybe taught when you were younger. It's the thought that counts. The fact that you thought of someone, when you bring someone a gift, it's a physical representation of, I thought of you. I remembered you. I considered you today. And those are things that can be very, very helpful for someone to feel love. Now, usually, money doesn't matter for the person whose primary love language is receiving gifts. Now, some of you ladies, some of you bourgeois menses, one of the lines in there said, if somebody is critical of the amount of money that you spent on a gift, primary love language is not receiving gifts. If they can poo-poo on your gift because you didn't spend the right dough, oh, you only got me a Benz and I know that the Porsche was available, whatever. That person, they might not actually have the primary love language of receiving gifts like they think. The person whose primary love language of receiving gifts, per the book, is an individual who enjoys the fact that you just thought about them and you brought them something physical. My angel, Easy Misil, at Easy Misil on Instagram, she makes these beautiful arrangements of flowers for me. When I contracted COVID and I was down and I wasn't feeling good, she came and did this. These flowers were so pretty. No, that was for my birthday. They were still good. They were just still good. They lasted that long. For my birthday, she made me a floral arrangement that I mean, my sister lives with me. She came in here and she just said, what did she do? What did she do? I'm like, I don't know. It was just every time. And she made it for my birthday. And I didn't see this girl for weeks. And every time I came in my kitchen, I was like, my baby loves me. And I loved that. It was so beautiful. When I fell and broke my tooth and hurt myself real bad, both of my angels came over here, one with flowers. And actually, that's where we got this. That's where we got the vase that's holding these current flowers. But the other one came and brought all these soft things for me to eat, a candle, brought all these different things that just made me feel good. And every time, I haven't even burnt that candle. I won't. It just sits there. I'm like, this is my baby. My baby got me that candle. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because on the episode 29, the candle that's burning is the candle that Susie gave me. So no, it's another one. You gave me another candle for something. I know it because it's in my room. I'll show it to you. Oh, maybe it's the one we got for her. Okay. Never mind. Point is, we like gifts around here. We give each other gifts all the time. She brought me injera today. With what? I ate it with my mouth and hands. It was very good. My assistant is Ethiopian. So the whole thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, give me food. I think that's what this whole thing was about. Send it to the 1500 Sound Academy no, I'm messing with you. Gifts can be purchased, they can be found, or they can be made. It's really the thought that counts for the person whose primary love language is receiving gifts. Don't wait for a special occasion for the person who loves receiving gifts. Do it just because it will mean more. All right? He talks about the best investment. Some people don't like the idea of giving gifts because money gets tight. And they don't want to mess with the family finances just to show a display of love. like showing a display of love, some little thing. It's not. But the reality is, shit, we're living in post-COVID times, really still COVID times, but I guess the world is over it, so they're going to open back up. But because of the fact that we're living in times like these, I totally get that gift giving and gift receiving might not be ideal, especially to people who had a certain lifestyle and a level of living before the pandemic hit. It might be less likely that, I used to be able to get you Cartier watches or Cartier jewelry, whatever. Now that might have to look like a very nice meal somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's still a gift. It's just not the same caliber of gift. But just know that even though it may be difficult to give gifts during a time where saving is more necessary, it's still one of those things where you can get creative, be liberated and free in this gift giving section. If you're in love with, if your spouse is a primary love language person who likes to receive gifts, create something. Make something. You can't afford the Roof Chris or I don't even know if that's a good steakhouse because I have a guy that makes very good steaks. But let me, whoever and however, whatever the best stuff is, you don't have the money to go out and take her there, go to the auf Deutsch, Metzgerei, in English. That's how I know I'm tired. I think in different languages. Let me say, the person that cuts meat. The butcher, damn it. Go to the butcher, get a great cut, her favorite cut of the steak. Look up YouTube, Gordon Ramsay. Find how to make the fucking steak and make it yourself with some, caramelized fuckity fucks, whatever you're going to put next to it and stuff, and saute some garlic with some spinach. And if she likes it, DM me a picture. And if it was good, send it to the 1500 Sound Academy. So this is what we're going to be also doing, is talking about the fact that some people, when you spend money, it's a very emotive thing, subjective thing. People work hard for their money. So some of us are more saver oriented. Others of us are more spender oriented. If you are a saver and your spouse, the person who loves to feel love, gets their shit off by receiving gifts, just know that when you're doing it, it's for the greater cause and the greater good of what is love for the two of you. Spending money can be something that almost, someone described spending money as painful. In my experience, they were like, I do not like it. They also, but then you got to think what that comes with. They also came from a impoverished situation. They worked very hard to never have to feel the back of their fucking torso with the inside of their stomach, because that's how hungry they would be. So once they hold. It's a whole nother, that it's just a situation that might even need therapy in that sort of a case. But just know, for those people who are more saver oriented like me, just know that extra $40 on that one night, that extra $200 on that one weekend or night, depending on what it is, for the long lasting memory that you're investing in. It's not that you're spending in, that you're investing in. It will be priceless. The pictures from it, the memories from it, how you talk about it, when you get in fights later and you remember, why do I even like this person? Those will be the types of situations that you go back on and be like, that was fly when ... That's going to be one of those things that you can pull from. Let me see. Investing your love is a real investment. There we go. The gift of self, guys. Last thing. Being there when your spouse needs you may beat any other type of gift. Directly from the book, physical presence in times of crises are the most powerful gifts you can give your spouse, especially if they are a primary love language gift receiver. Your body becomes that symbol of love. You being there is the symbol of love. So when my angels came over after I hurt myself back in March, they didn't Uber Eats me. They didn't send flowers. They came and made sure that they also gave me these gifts, but just them in my house. That was gift. If they just came to just sit with me, that would have been a gift as well. That presence, man. Also, if you are a person who likes to receive gifts, please communicate that clearly and let it be known that that's one of the things that really gets you off, that really makes you feel loved. It just avoids confusion so that somebody doesn't think, oh, you're just this materialistic, blah, blah, blah. No, that's just something that you've always done, and it's something that makes you feel really good inside. All right? He gives at the end, if you're reading on a paperback book about this size, at the end of this conversation, he also, like I told you, I really like, he makes this practical. So page 88, he talks about things that you can do concretely to help yourself become a better gift giver if your spouse and the person you love is a person who likes receiving gifts. I really, really enjoy that this guy does that. The practical stuff, especially for gentlemen, it really generally helps. All right. One of the big takeaways from that part for me was just, if you can't seem to afford it, or you don't feel you can justify the expense, create it, design it, find ways, because talked about it with TJ, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will to win, there is a way. The last thing I have for y'all is another do-I-ditty. Buy my book, turning, wait, that could have just been a sentence. Buy my book. It was a double entendre because I meant to say like buy my book being 13, but you know, buy my book website. But anyways, buy my book 13, turning 13. By the time you guys hear this episode, it will have already passed. Let me see. Yeah. It will have already passed. I want you all to enjoy one of my pieces from here. Shouts out, first of all, to my baby cousin. Chloe Warden. She created the artwork for this piece in my first book. She created the artwork for all the pieces in my first book, but this one is one of my favorites. And her birthday is June 12th. So a lot of June and Gemini stuff going on. I'm surrounded by y'all. This poem is called Miles Ahead of the Game. Miles ahead of the game. Miles embedded in train. Painted a different kind of blue since life's been shorter for Wayne. For now he speaks no evil, but people I speak his pain. Bearing the badge of his sequel, through me my brother has never been slain. And that's ahead of the game. We become that from which we came. Ain't nothing new under the sun, son, and for the moon that statement is just the same. How can you be the entrepreneur of the rerun or the remix? Check the prefix, it's been done. Your logic has been dumb. Yes, it's overrated, and it doesn't take a genius or anyone to say it. Free your mind or you waste it to the confines of these contrived half-truths. Got the youth like Columbine going out of their minds. America taught their parents they come second to a 9 to 5. A nation built on hate and lies, used Christianity to control our minds, but like subtle dust from rubble, still we rise, much more than watermelon and Kentucky fried. We use the hate you eschewed us to hurt and subdue us. We flipped and gave it vigor like calling brothers my niggas to kill it. And you listen to rap, we live it. Your kids worship the broken black male image. And though it's a sad sight, look at the power in it. You gave pot concrete, he grew a flower in it. And your kids know his, not your senator's name. So when you roll call for role models, who you think that they claim? When really, they're just one and the same. Maybe just on different planes. But realizing that, y'all, is what we call miles ahead of the game. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. I love that poem. And there was a jazz song that my dad had done. Shouts out to Wyann, who turned 68 on the 6th of June. All these Geminis, like I said, I can't run from y'all. Yeah, that's some real stuff right there. He had some music for that, and it was on cassette tape. Let's talk about when I wrote that. That's how long ago it was. He had a cassette. Put that in, make something to that. Okay, Father. So guys, we're here at the Wyann's Words of Wisdom, and I feel like we covered a lot of this in our Get Raised section with the incomparable TJ Wilkins. So I'm going to make this more brief than usual while LA's with all of this ghetto bird activity above my head. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I can. Shook my house. So this Wyann's Words of Wisdom is borrowing from something that my mentee Quavo, shouts out to Jaquevis Hyman, something he said on last episode, which was, we're so in tune with ourselves that we're out of tune with each other. And why I thought about this was because of what this month represents. Pride Month, Black Music Month, and Men's Health Month. I noticed that we as individuals have become so sensitive. When Quavo gave us that quotable, it was from episode 31 when I asked him, just for my own kicks, yo, why are Gen Zers, why are people in your generation so damn sensitive to everything we OGs say? Why are they so sensitive? And he said, I think it's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we've really tuned into ourselves in a way that y'all never really did, which was true. He said, but the bad thing, if I had to find one, was we are so in tune with ourselves, we are out of tune with everyone else around us. And hella profound for a baby. But what I noticed about that is the fact that as we've become so into ourselves, I think that's for various reasons too. Look at all of your social media. When you choose who you follow on your timeline, in your hallway, depending on which app you're on your iTunes, your playlists, we're not all tuning in to 92.3 The Beat no more. We're not all tuning in to Power 106 no more. These are all LA references, by the way. But we're not all tuning into the same radio stations, hearing the same music. We all caught that one video world premiere on MTV. We're not all looking at the same things anymore. We have our own apps. I don't own cable, and I know some people that don't have this version of cable. They have that version of cable. I know people who have Netflix versus people who have Hulu. Whatever it is, we have customized our lives, ladies and gentlemen. We've customized our lives to the point where whenever we look at anything in our phones, aka our leashes, all we see is us. We just see ourselves. Hell, I wonder where we see most other people. Maybe that's still one of the benefits of going to school. You're dealing with a bunch of people who look to enlighten themselves, but you never know from where they come and what their backgrounds are. Maybe going to a gym somewhere. As long as somebody can afford the membership, you don't know who's coming in. You don't know who you'll meet and who you'll see. Shopping at a mall somewhere. Like, it's so rare now that we experience a group of people that we didn't curate, and other people's views of life and other preferences and things that they like, right? And I likened it to like Have you guys ever got a ready-made salad? I shop at Trader Joe's way too often. Not more than Target though, because that's my shit. But anyways, I shop at Trader Joe's way too much. And they have things like, I'm sure Target does too. They have things like ready-made Caesar salads. So you might get this one package that is a Caesar's salad. But when you open this container, you'll notice that the only thing that's free form is the lettuce, the romaine lettuce. The croutons are packed separate. The cheese is packed separate. The dressing is packed separately. If you took any of those ingredients away, it would no longer be a Caesar salad. It would just be a bed of lettuce, romaine lettuce. If you just inserted the croutons only, it would be a bed of romaine lettuce with croutons on top. It's not until you add the Parmesan cheese and the dressing made specifically for that salad that you get what's called a Caesar salad. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like that's the human experience. I feel like that's at least life in America. At the very least, I only speak from what I know, and I've only lived in America, so I'm just giving you my take. By June being a month that celebrates Black music, men and their health and pride, a group of historically ostracized folks, I feel like it's one of those examples of how it really takes all of us to make this world go round. People make the world go round, as the stylistics would say, right? Black Music Month. I feel like off the strength, I should do like some emotions song, but I don't have one off hand for this topic. But anyways, if I feel one, I feel it is a thing you can't be sure of, even if it's singular. It's not having to do anything with these Wyann's words of wisdom. I'm so sorry. But the point is this, guys. In a month like June, I could see a certain faction wanting the month to be completely about them. Kind of like October has historically completely been about breast cancer, or the month of February has historically completely been about Black history, which in today's day and age we call Black heritage, because our culture is not just historic. We're still doing things today, so we're continuing to big up our legacy. But just like I mentioned earlier, if someone started calling Black History Month LGBT Month, I know if I'm being dead ass with myself, I would feel a way. And I would feel a way because historically, I think people who look like me just have not been seen or don't feel like we've been seen or heard. So the second that we get something for ourselves and another person comes to look to take that space, it feels like encroachment. It doesn't feel like unification. It doesn't feel like the croutons with the cheese, with the lettuce making a salad and that we all can share it. No, it feels like instead of America being depicted as some garden salad where everything can still keep its form but commingle, I think historically, haven't they said that this country is like a melting pot? The problem with the melting pot or a stew, if you've ever cooked with tomatoes and you put it in a bunch of liquid, do you know what happens to the tomato? It ceases to be a tomato. It just becomes the soup. Okra, if you break it down and move it around, can do the same thing. Cheese can melt. So once you have America or this lived experience like a melting pot, it's almost like any of us cease to be. Any of us. Yet, the way that politics are run in this country, the way that justice is served or not in this country, it's all very dependent upon what you went into that soup as. The tomato does not get treated like the cheese. Even though in the melting pot analogy, people would like us to believe that we all just commingle and exist as one. We don't. We don't. And in an era of selfies and social media that's based highly on pictures and reels and movements and TikToks and dances, and where we are the star of our own shows, we love to be in that camera, boy. Makes me think about the conversation we had with TJ about that ego and how quickly seeing ourselves and being so in touch with only our images, not the worth within, but just us, just wanderlust on just us, just seeing ourselves every day, all the time. It starts to become that, yeah, we're in tune with our face on a screen, but that says nothing about the depth of our knowledge of character, love for self, or where we find value within. So it's very important for us to be seen, and not seen in the image-based way. I won't shout out any social media platforms. Not just seen in a social media type way, a performative way. I think all of us want to be seen. We all want to be heard, and we all want to feel special. But in the same way that the melting pot analogy doesn't work, when everyone is so in tune with, I want to be seen, please, I need you to respect my experience. I need you to respect my experience and mine and mine and mine and mine. Now we're all silos. And none of us see any of the others of us. So you wanted to be seen so much, but guess who's the only person in your audience? You. I don't know what the answer is to this, ladies and gentlemen. But I know it has to deal with some form of us finding this strategic and perfect balance between the need to be seen and the desire to possess compassion and understanding for everybody. It gotta be the two. Some form of the two has to exist. Or else, on one extreme, we become a melting pot where no one has an original form. I won't even say what I was about to say right now, but some of you who know me know what I was about to say. And the opposite day of that, which is each person living in a silo, an individualized capsule of life, clueless to what anyone else goes through, anyone else's learning curve, and what anybody else is doing. So I say this to say, love for everyone feels like the answer for me. Attempting to at least hear. Notice in the beginning of this podcast, I said, especially to the gentlemen, only because amongst men do we tend to be more, I understood men to be more distant when it comes to members of the LGBTQ plus community and a man who is like a heterosexual masculinized individual. If you could even listen to this podcast, to even let a sliver of something different than what you're used to come into your experience, bro, kudos. Kudos to you. I'm not saying that you got to go out and make anybody your best friend tomorrow, but I am saying that when you look at an individual who happens to love differently than you, maybe you can just see an individual, somebody trying to figure this life shit out just like you, who might have the exact same amount of money in the bank as you, the same car in the driveway like you, the same hopes and aspirations for equality like you. Ladies, you're not off the hook too, because we can be homophobic as well. And if this is something that you feel you would want more information about, DM at Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUPWY. Rockets up on these hoes. Inside joke. But well, inside way of life, really, no joke. Inside way of life. I want that dialogue to be something that can happen. If for no other reason, just because we as people, we all know what it's like to feel loved and great. We all know what it's like to feel played and hated on. And I think we would choose the former rather than the latter. Long story short. So I love y'all. I respect every human who looks to aspire towards their greatness. I thank every one of y'all who listens to this podcast. And that's how I'm going to end my Wyann's words of wisdom. But before I go, so pay your dues, baby. We got to pay some dues around here. Some of you all noticed that I didn't have the straight hair, if you're on YouTube. I didn't have the straight hair like I've been having for the last few episodes. It's been cold in LA, bro. And I don't like wearing my hair curly if it's going to be cold because my scalp likes to make me very, my scalp likes to talk to my sinuses, and then I start to give you one of those, and that doesn't work so good. So, because it's been hotter in LA, and I'm so sad because they said it's even hotter in North Carolina, but there's ain't no sunshine when she lands, I hear. Poor NC. What I used is from ILOVETHEDOUX at I Love the Do, which is my cousin Maya Smith. Pictured there. Can you see it? Pictured there, my cousin Maya Smith created this product that is far superior to any other product I've ever put in my hair. Yes, she's my family, so maybe I'm biased, but also look at my hair. The proof is in the pudding, all right? And not the pudding okay, but and then I also put some swagoo on my edges and I don't know if they laid down because I think when we were trying to figure out the sound, I was frustrated, so I sweat a little bit, so it might have went boing, boing. So I don't know if it still looks the right way, but I love the do more than you knew. Shouts out to my cousin Maya Smith at ILOVETHEDOUX. Black Music Month with an F. My homies, bro. My shirt right now is from the dinner party at DINNERPARTY at dinner party on Instagram. This is a super group of 4 of my homeboys. One's name is Terrace Martin. One's name is Kamasi Washington. One's name is Ninth Wonder. And the 4th's name is Robert Glasper. You can find all 4 of those accounts by just following the one account called at dinner party, DINNERPARTY PARTY. I don't know why that came, but I talked about my daddy and his birthday being in June. This right here, if you're looking on YouTube, I have one of my dad's platinum albums from when he was with the Brothers Johnson, presented to Wayne Vaughn to commemorate the sale of more than 1 million physical copies, all you streamers. Physical copies, streamers. From A&M Records. Doesn't even exist anymore. It's crazy. A&M is where they is the studio. I don't think you ever went with me back in like 2017 when Terrace was there. They call it Henson's now in Hollywood off La Brea. But A&M is where they recorded We Are the World, We Are the Children, and Lewis Thunder Thumbs, Lewis Johnson. He's the one that played bass on We Are the World and a lot of Michael Jackson's music, right? Yeah, I thought so. All of Off the Wall? Wow. Okay, I did not know that. But and we lost Lewis in 2015 or 16, I believe. One of those. So shouts out to you, and your legacy lives on, brother. I love it, and I love you. And this album right here, this platinum album, is for long playing record LP, long playing record album. Look out for number 1. All right, and shouts out to George Johnson too. I just totally skimmed over him. Also, I'ma need y'all to go on and follow the The Emotions Legacy page at TheEmotionsLegacy. When I'm tired, apparently I spell better. That was crazy. I didn't know I could do that. Wow. But yes, at The Emotions Legacy is a page that I started for my mom and them. She wants it to be known as the official page of The Emotions. And for those of you who don't know, because I realize I get new listeners, a new subscriber every day. Thank you if you're new, and thank you if you're grown and you've been here a minute. Hello, but Mom and Them is you got the best of my love. I just don't feel like singing up there. Or you wondering if I care about you. Is there some call thing that I should doubt you? All of you young people just got lost right now. Nobody knows what that is. OGs, y'all know what it is. Holla if you hear her. But that's Mom and Aunties, and of course my sister Wendy at I Am Wendy with an I, and me. Tour with The Emotions. It's a family business. It is a legacy of Black music. And lastly, I wanted to shout out someone who will be helping me get all nice and right and fine for the 99 to the 2021. He's helped TJ with his health journey, and his name is at Andrew Mena Fit, at AndrewMena, so much for that, FIT, Andrew Mena Fit, and fitness, vintagefitness.gym, vintagefitness.gym, both of those things on Instagram. That's where you're going to see me tagging a bunch of my posts, because I'm going to have hips and ass all in that motherfucker. And we gonna get it on. I cannot wait to get back on my JO with my physical journey. Most of you know, if you come to LUV Love Tuesdays, every Tuesday, except for this last Tuesday, I was way too tired. But Tuesdays at 6 p.m., I go on live with my IG community on my Wyann, WYANNA page. And I'm going to do a pull-up before the year is out. I'm going to do a pull-up before the year is out. And I'm back on my bullshit after I get my new tooth. That's gonna be coming up on the 23rd of this month. So everything else you need for Wyann, just check at RAISEITUPWY at Raise It Up Y. It's the name of this podcast. If you don't know how to spell it, please look on your screen right now. You can also look at the hashtag Rockets Up on These Hoes with a Z. Somebody said Rockets Upon These Hoes. I said forever I'm gonna say it like that. In my head, I have not stopped saying Rockets Upon These Hoes. But if you come to Love Tuesdays, you'll understand why that's our slogan. Light work, I haven't been doing as many light works, which is my mentoring profession, my professional mentoring business on the side. I haven't been doing as many just because my time has been scarce. Now that we have to kind of physically start going back to work and stuff, and I'm working out and stuff, I'm just trying to find the time. I'm trying to find the time without hurting myself, guys. So just know, wyannvaughn.com, WYANN, V as in Victor, AUGHN.com is where you'll also be able to find things like my book 13 that turns 13 on the 13th of this month. Right Out turns 3 Right Out turns 3 in July, so I'll give you guys a piece from Right Out in July, sort of a thing. New merch coming soon. I'm just saying. Be on the lookout. Bolo, nigga. Bolo. Be on the lookout. Also, couple dates. Told you my dad's birthday was the 6th. My cousin's birthday will already have passed. It was the 12th. Oh, I know. The Emotions. We are performing in Carson, California, West Coast, in Carson, California on the 24th of July. And tickets are now on sale. They only just went on sale a couple days ago. So, well, from when we tape this. But please make sure you get out there and get in with us for the Summer Love Fest that's going on. Evelyn Champagne King, the Temprees, Rolls Royce Car Wash, whoa. You know, all of them. We're going to be getting up with the OGs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that some of what I said today was cohesive. I am running off of fumes. And I just appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And I'll see you in a month. As always, y'all, stay real.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up.